Celebration engulfed the sadness on a very strange day at Arsenal as Arsene Wenger bid farewell to the Emirates Stadium with 5 goals and a whirl of conflicting emotions. Arsenal summoned precisely the sort of vintage display which has eluded them. In a season of underachievement, and fans packed the place out and rejoiced in the sunshine. Wenger sat in his seat and listened to his name ringing around the rafter of a stadium he inspired. Part of his vision for the club he joined in 1996 and watched his players performing with a freedom which has eluded them. Arsenal, check. Bellerin, Chambers, Mavropanos, Kolasinac, Wilshere, Xhaka, Mkhitaryan, Iwobi, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Subs not used: Mertesacker, Ramsey, Ospina, Monreal, Mustafi, Welbeck, Maitland-Niles. Goals bookings: Burnley, Pope, Lowton, Long, Tarkowski, Ward, Lennon, Cork, Westwood, Goodmanson, Hendrick, Barnes. Subs not used: Heaton, Taylor, Nkaudu, Marnie, Vokes, Wells, Bardsley. Referee, Andre Mariner. Attendance: Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang opened the scoring and Alexander Lacazette made it 2-0 before half-time. Seed Kolasinac slammed in the third, a sweet strike from an angle. Alex Iwobi scored the fourth, Aubameyang the fifth, and Danny Welbeck rattled the woodwork in the closing stages. Arsenal were slick and creative against Burnley, a team with a strong defensive record away from Turf Moor, this season. Even without the goals, and without Mesut Ozil, who was absent with a back problem, the home crowd seemed to be drunk on the occasion. Fans rose in the first half to applaud as Konstantinos Mavropanos, a 20-year-old centre-half signed in January from Pagianina in Greece and making his home debut, flattened Burnley striker Sam Vokes and conceded a free kick. Having cheered the physical contact, those near to the press box turned to the salute Martin Keown, who was on duty for BBC Radio with a chorus of "There's only one Keown." Smiling, Keown raised a fist. Mavropanos tried to give them more of what they clearly craved. When the next high ball came his way, he collided again with Vokes, clashing heads, and the game stopped as the medics were beckoned once again. It was all very strange. As if the end of the Wenger era would signal a step back in time. Terrace anthems were sung in honor of Patrick Vieira and Dennis Bergkamp, which is rare at the Emirates Stadium, where the passion is usually reserved for the referee and opponents with the temerity to tackle Arsenal players with any trace of aggression. Vieira's name rang out more than once, a message if needed for owner Stan Kroenke, who sat in shades in the director's box, and the executives in charge of searching for Wenger's successor. Arsenal were already 1 goal up and Ashley Barnes was receiving treatment, having hurt himself in the act of flattening Granit Xhaka from behind. Xhaka rolled around too, and Mertesacker was sent to warm up, triggering a red wave of home fans climbing to their feet to hail the big effing German, who is about to end his playing career and take up a role in charge of the club's academy. Then they demanded a wave from Wenger, who obliged, briefly raising a hand, but he must have found it bewildering after years of protests. For the first time in months, there was barely a spare seat as supporters returned to say thank you and goodbye and pulled on the free t-shirts, emblazoned with the slogan Merci Arsene. The Wenger routes and the Arsenos factions united in appreciation, and the two teams formed a guard of honor. The Arsenal boss emerged to a cheer, raised his hands in recognition, paced through the 2 lines of players and shook hands with a few people before performing a brisk U-turn, removing his jacket and settling down beside Steve Bold on the bench. In his program notes, he said he expected this day, the end of a long story, to be dominated by sadness, but this was a theatre of happiness. Jack Wilshere, who may also be appearing for the last time as an Arsenal player at the Emirates, came off to warm applause. Mertesacker came on to a boisterous roar, took the armband, and his every touch was cheered. It felt like the Tony Adams moment against Everton in 1998 when Arsenal celebrated the double at the end of Wenger's first full season in charge. Tired of the present, they hailed the past and looked ahead to a brighter future. Merci Arsene.